So in today's video, we're going to dive right into it to weigh the dynamic men and women when it comes to deadbeat, absent dads and the impact on the children, how it reflects on both men and women dynamics in toxic relationships, and how to recognize the signs.
So y'all, this video is a little rough. I'm gonna keep it hot and ready with y'all. It's 10:59 p.m. as you can see on the camera right here. You see the time above me. But apparently, allegedly, this man is dropping his son off at the doorstep of his baby mama's house or ex's house, and just is getting ready to like pull off with him still sitting outside. Like, I've seen conflicting things about she's at work, she's not at home, or he just didn't want to call her to wake her up. But this is kind of wild. So I'm gonna play. I warned you. I warned you, right? Just, you're gonna get angry.
Here. Here. Sit down right there.
Like, set him right there on the porch.
Bye. Call your nana. Call your mom. You got your mom? Who's that?
He said, call your mama.
Call mom. Bye.
Like 11 o'clock at night.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Ow, what are you doing?
It's gonna hurt y'all.
You can't wait. No!
Like, look at this. The little man just walking downstairs by himself. Now, I've heard, now, in a real life situation, it would seem like the mom posted this because this is her house, right? That's what it seemed like. The mom posted this because this is her house in the middle of the night. And again, I've read some conflicting things in different comment sections. Some people said she's at work, and you can hear him on the camera saying somebody's at work, but it's 11 o'clock at night, and he's about to leave his son on the doorsteps by himself with nobody around, like no acknowledgement from the son's mom or whatever the case may be in this situation. That's rough. I think we can all agree to that, right?
I think one of the worst excuses that any man can give about why he didn't raise his child is that his father wasn't there, so he didn't really know how to be a father. Changing a diaper, that is completely out of his realm of knowledge. He cannot figure that part out. The reality is that no mother or no father ever knew how to be a parent. When they had their firstborn child, they just figured it out in the moment. Some people have more help than others. Like, some people's parents come over, they may teach you how to change a diaper. They may teach you a couple things about how to raise a child. But every child's going to be different. Every situation is going to be different. And it's going to be things that you're just going to have to learn on your own. No father is the perfect father. No mother is the perfect mother. Parenting is not a perfect job. We talk about winging it at work. There are so many parents that are winging it.
So I play that to say that a lot of the dads, as much as society, even highly educated fathers, many maybe might not necessarily be married, but a majority are also married. They consciously made the choice to be with women, consciously made the choice to lay down with women, to make babies. But then at the end of the day, the conditioning, society, in their minds, makes it okay for some reason, make it make sense. The condition, especially for those men who, when they were boys, were not really thought, even if you didn't have the example, but were not thought or exposed to the fact that being a dad is a conscious decision you made to lay down with a woman. You made the child who didn't ask to be here. They're innocent. Working on putting your ego aside and doing the best you can to be hands-on, not just providing monetary support. I get it. There's a lot of families that maybe the deadbeat is deadbeat and not even providing financial support at all. But make it make sense how you're providing 50% of the bills to raise the children. The woman is the one doing all the hard labor, the mental labor, the day-to-day rinse and repeat, day-to-day rinse and repeat. And we have this weekend dad, Instagram dads. We have this occasional dad. I choose and pick when I show up dad. I don't respect your dad, your boundary dad. I'm gonna make a conscious decision to disrupt your life, even though I don't want to be with you anymore. I've gone on to be with a whole different family that I've started, but I'm going to constantly drag you to court, not do the right thing, not support financially, emotionally, spiritually. And then there are a group of people who say, okay, yeah, you're blabbing, you're bitter, whatever. I take this always from the standpoint, not just from personal experiences. Yes, a touch of personal experience makes it more relatable because I walk and breathe what it feels like to be a single mom that you didn't expect. Some of these men, they get into it, and we're gonna not talk a lot about the switch up, especially the switch up that happens once you have babies with a lot of these men who are traumatized, being traumatized as kids and unwilling to sway from the mental conditioning that's presented to them as men, or what's valuable, what's manhood supposed to look like. It doesn't look like being hands-on with your children consistently. And so they choose and pick, and not to mention the dads that are neglectful, abusive. And abuse is not always physical. It's the neglect, the emotional distancing, the gaslighting, the sometimes even teasing of the women, even the children, comparing physique, comparing appearance, weight, different things. They shame the children, cause them more trauma than they're supposed to have. So if nobody shows you, you're enlightening 2025, even if you say outside of education, and some of these men are highly educated too. Many of them might have, big positions on the outside. They present well. People be like, oh, not that man. No, he's a great man. He's a philanthropist. He's kind. He's caring. But behind closed doors, you don't know how that person shows up as. I've seen it personally with friends, with family, and also in my line of work as a psych nurse practitioner, where I see many women. A few men are part of my client base, but majority are women struggling. Most of the time, the struggle, the anxiety, the depression, the sadness, the paranoia, all this is the substance use. The lack of ability to maintain work and finances, the women struggling behind the scenes to keep it together, the punishment that comes, some of these men with the mentality of wanting to punish women that they don't want to be with. They choose to leave and create a broken home and continue to create broken homes, and unwillingness for them to go to therapy and do the healing, the reflection, and hold themselves accountable. And also their boys holding each other accountable, the absence of that at all. Like, that's not, they will have this mindset of punishing you or even planning to get you unalive because you are speaking up, because many of the people around them or the women around them enable the behaviors, because society condones some of this behavior. Like, oh yeah, like he's a man of good standing, how dare you are lacking respect, you're lacking humility, we're not raised well, how dare you. But here you are trying to hold the fort for you and your children in absence of consistent support, financial, consistent support, emotionally, consistent support, physically, consistent disregard, all the things. So if nobody has shown you, why don't you make the conscious decision to do it different? Because you've seen firsthand how that feels like growing up, especially some of these men who also grew up in single family household, to make it a point that you are going to choose to do differently, to work towards your nuclear family differently than your parents did, than your uncle did, than your grandfathers did. But yet they perpetrate this type of behaviors over and over and over. And I'm going to tag here that dad who dropped off his son. And it like literally my heart dropped into my gut because I have a son similar age. And to think about a bitter dad that's trying to punish this woman. I don't know the backstory fully, but that still does not, that's not justified at all. Hearing that little boy crying, where are you going, dad, leaving you? And that's physical. That's the minority of the cases that we are showing. Kudos to the woman who showed this. Obviously, most likely that's her home at 11 o'clock at night, and you think it's okay to leave that child there and not call the mom and say whatever is going on. You can't put your ego aside and what differences is happening between you and the mom to make sure that this child is handed off. And some of these men will do that out of their own ego and bitterness and anger and unresolved conflict and traumas, but then take it out completely on the woman they have the children with. And that's the thing that baffles my mind when people say, why don't you just choose better? No, yes, you choose better because a lot of these men bring their representatives, and sometimes it's not just during the dating phase. They will choose to marry you, lay down with you, have babies with you, talk sweet nothings. That's this dark psychology of it. Future faking with you, keeping your hope going, breadcrumbing you along the way. And then all of a sudden, once they start to, a lot of times, like in my country, they say sikani bema. So once they start making some good money, they start to switch up, turn around, and become controlling, breaking, demanding, domineering their way or no other way. Literal, narcissistic. But these are things that I talk about on my channel to normalize the fact that we are not alone, and it's a collective effort as men feminists. Back in the days, our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmother's time, they couldn't even hold a bank account. So hopefully in the next generations, with some of these open discussions of what it looks like to be with men like that, and hopefully we can start to raise our sons differently, and hopefully for the next generations to start to improve. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section on this particular topic. Okay, bye. Love you.